All right, here we go. Got a match breakdown today, an OP15 battle between Red Blue Lucy and Green Black Brook. Two decks that are shaking things up with the meta. A lot to learn with OP15, but both of these decks are kind of bringing in some new mechanics and playstyles. So let's see if we can't learn anything new today. Speed is going to be on 1.5x. We may pause at times to break some things down. Our opponent did win dice roll, by the way, and they are choosing to go first. So we're going to go second in this matchup. I still haven't had much experience playing with Brook quite yet, so I'm still learning everything that Brook is capable of. I know they have the Nightmare Luffy to worry about. Let's dive straight in. We start our turn playing our Dressrosa Kingdom stage and our Rebecca top 3 search. Our opponent starts off with their Tony Chopper. On play, they're going to mill 3 cards from the top of their deck, and then you can trash the Chopper to add a card from your trash to your hand. All right. Still a lot to learn with this Brook. Right. So bear with me. Our opponent attaches a Dawn, though, and they swing 6k at us at lead, going for our life, and we go ahead and take that first life. Keeping our counter resources in hand, we start our next turn for Dawn, swinging at lead, 5 at 5. Okay, our opponent takes. And we use our 4-cost event, so that's going to allow us to draw 2, trash 1, and then chain out a 4-cost character. We chain out the Cavendish, and then with leader ability, we get to draw an additional card. We go ahead and pass the turn, 5 Dawn turn for our Brook opponent now. All right, so that's the Pirate Docking. On play, they get to mill 3 cards and then play a 2-cost character, I believe, from their trash. They play the Chopper, so they get to mill another 3 cards with the Chopper. A lot of milling with this Brook deck. And they add another card to their hand. Okay, with the Chopper ability. They end their turn swinging 5 at 5. We use our leader ability. We get to just trash a event for 1k counter. And we counter out of that attack, protecting our life. Brook is a pretty interesting leader. I think there's a lot of milling with the deck. There's a lot of playing with your cards from the trash. But I imagine there's going to be a skill floor with Brook that a lot of people are going to start to get pretty nice with the deck. It may be pretty scary to deal with some advanced Brook players, but we'll have to see. We start off our turn, by the way, playing a Rebecca for a top 3 search and then swinging 5 with our leader. Just a poke. They counter out. Looks like they used a 2k to counter out. We swing with our Cavendish. That's going to allow us to draw 2, trash 1. We're getting a lot of value out of Cavendish, especially now that there's no pudding in the meta. I think Cavendish is a pretty valuable card if you're running any sort of blue decks, especially Dressrosa. So like the new Rebecca leader too, Cavendish is probably a very strong card in that deck. But we play another Cavendish past the turn. Sorry, I fell a little behind. It looks like our opponent now swinging with their Pirate Docking, starting their turn 7k swing at lead. Okay, we counter out of that. So we use leader ability plus a 2k counter out of hand. And our opponent plays the Nightmare Luffy. If you watch Cardi Kaizuku, his YouTube channel, he called it Nightmare Luffy, and I think that's just the perfect name for it. And that Luffy has a lot of abilities. So real quick, before we keep moving forward, Luffy, the Nightmare Luffy, is going to make their leader a 7k base during our turn, first and foremost. They have over 20 cards in their trash, not quite 30 though, so 2 of the Luffy effects are active right now. Looks like our opponent was able to swing in, but we blocked with our Rebecca. We had attached a Dawn to the Rebecca at the end of our last turn, enabling the Rebecca to become a blocker. Let me just actually rewind that and just make sure. Yeah, so we block with the Rebecca. Our opponent passes the turn. 8 Dawn turn to work with. We start off with our 7-cost Sabo. We get to chain out an event. We chain out the Fire Fist. Fire Fist boosts our leader by 3,000 and weakens one of their characters by 8,000. So we weaken the Pirate Docking, trying to just clear it off the board. We swing with Cavendish. Maybe could have swung with the Rebecca, but we swing with Cavendish. We get to draw 2, trash 1. We may want to leave that Rebecca standing to use as a blocker in an upcoming turn, though. So we swing another 7k with the other Cavendish. We draw 2, trash 1. And now we're swinging with our leader, 8 at 7. And we use leader ability. When attacking, we can trash an event from hand. We get an additional 1,000 power. And with the 9k swing at their 7k leader, our opponent takes that life. All right. Moving quickly now onto our opponent's turn. 9 Dawn turn for our opponent. They start off with the 6 cost Nami. That's going to allow them to chain out a Straw Hat character from their trash and give it Rush. We get another Nightmare Luffy hitting the board. 10 coming in from the first Nightmare Luffy at our Cavendish. 10 at 6. Opponent swinging in. Now we have quite a few 2k counters in hand. And we have our blocker Sabo. We counter out of that at first attack, though. We did have to use a lot of cards. 3 cards in hand to get out of it. Our opponent swings at the Cavendish with the other Luffy, and we block and use another 2k counter. Then our opponent swung at life with their leader, 5 at 5. We took that life. Okay. And now we are at 10 Dawn. Our opponent getting white on the board, their leader being a 7k base. We just checked. They only have 8 cards left in their deck. Getting close to decking out. But also, that's kind of the mechanic that Brook likes to do. Because of their leader ability, they can restand a character. So I think our opponent may be setting up lethal, if not next turn, the following turn. Okay, but where are we at? We played a Viola. We get to do a top 3 search, and we attach a Dawn to Cavendish. We swing 7 at lead, draw 2, trash 1. Always getting an additional card in hand with the Cavendish swings. Very nice. We chain out another Sabo to chain out our blue 7 cost event. That's going to give our leader double attack. So 9k coming in because we trash an event from hand, enabling our leader's win attacking ability. 9k at their 7k leader with double attack, and our opponent takes. We land the double attack swing, getting our opponent down to 0 life. We still have a swing with our Sabo if we want, but we choose to leave our Sabo standing, our blocker Sabo. Our opponent has quite a few cards in hand, so most likely they would have been able to counter out of a Sabo swing, and we want to make sure we're not too vulnerable. We know they may try to go for lethal on this turn. 10 Dawn for our opponent to work with now. 7 cards in their deck. I wonder if they even have the ability to mill down to 0 this turn. But our opponent starts off with a Dead Man's Game. Okay, that's going to rest both of our Sabos. So I think our opponent's only chance is to try to go for lethal this turn. So all we have to do is fend off lethal. Our opponent plays a Pirate Docking. Okay, that chains out 2 cost Zoro, blocker from their trash. They swing at our leader with their leader, 5 coming in at 5, going for our life. We counter out just with a 1k counter out of hand. 7k coming in from the Nami. 7 at lead. 7 at lead. We go ahead and use our stage counter event. We use our stage to counter 2k and then use an event with our leader ability to counter out of that attack. A total of 3k counter. Protecting our life. Our opponent swings with one of the Nightmare Luffys, and we use our Rebecca as a blocker. A second swing coming in with Nightmare Luffy, and we have to take that life. But with no more swings, our opponent did mill out, and Red Blue Lucy holds on to get the dub against Brook. Definitely got to be careful when it comes to the penultimate turn against Brook. Their whole game plan seems to be revolving around setting up a devastating lethal attack. GG's to our opponent, very well played. Still a lot to learn with this OP15 set. So let me know in the comments, how are you feeling about OP15? If you enjoyed the gameplay, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. We'll be back with another one. Peace.